In this future, we have seen new possibilities. People are asking about universal basic income. To a certain extent, is de facto being practiced now by a lot of countries. But of course, it's very far from the original concept. But the fact that governments are now giving a lot of money, billions, trillions, to actually enable the poorest sections of society to survive is a very interesting approach, because otherwise they will have revolution in their hands. Then all of things are locked down, people cannot get food and so on, and and businesses are down. A lot of unemployed people are out there. I think I mentioned 16 million in the US and over a million in the Philippines. So that's one sense of the future. We can reinvent societal structures, but more with an eye for justice. And we have to be more involved ourselves personally to make sure that justice is present in the world. Otherwise, we will always be victims of what is going on. When things like this hit, we have no voice. Societal structures are not created so that there's meaningful dialogue with the citizens, and so on. Okay, so that's one point. The other point in terms of moving towards the future is to actually prepare that this pandemic is there to stay. It's like with all viruses. They never go away. They just stay in the background. So it's important to continually take care of your immunity. Like to say something briefly about pandemics and climate emergency in connection with the future. The pandemic showed us that if government really wanted to, it can respond to emergencies. So they can also do so if they respond to the emergencies connected with climate emergency. And once such emergency is starting to develop in Africa, for example, where changes in the weather pattern have induced the emergence of a plague of locusts. There are hundreds of billions of locusts right now eating millions of hectares in Africa. And one can just imagine, it's going on right now. One can just imagine what would happen once the COVID outbreak starting to happen in Africa, and people there have no access to food. They will starve. And if they don't starve, their immune system will be severely compromised. And they will become a reservoir of future infections for humanity. And the other thing with this COVID pandemic in connection with climate change or climate emergency is the amount of destruction we're doing right now with the ecosystems of the planet. And when we do that, in a sense, we get this back to us as kind of world karma, so to speak. We're destroying the habitat of wildlife. Wildlife now finds itself in the nearness to human civilizations, and they transfer the virus, as believed that they did this with COVID. So we are going to be seeing more and more of these unknown kinds of viruses jumping from one animal species to another as we start destroying their environment, and they have no place to live, and we keep on poaching on them. This is a very long and involved topic. I would encourage you to visit our website. This website will specialize on answering questions connected to COVID. It will also give us the latest developments, but from an alternative and more spiritual perspective and more holistic perspective. It will also be a place where instead of watching a lot of YouTube and you don't have time, we will be transcribing some really important YouTube presentations so that you can access there in a shorter period of time some of these developments. We will also be featuring translations from time to time and so on, but also analysis. And then if you have questions, you can write us your questions and we will try to answer them as soon as we can and as comprehensive as we can. We are all in this together. It's not all about the virus only. it also has a lot to do with ourselves, our inner condition. How stable are we? How able are we to control our minds, to govern our minds, to think of more lofty ideas during time of crisis, because this will help in our immune system, in our immunity. It is a challenge. The call, if I want to summarize the call of COVID to humanity, is just understanding basically who we are as fully human, how we are able to resist any form of virus, and that how that is connected to our inner condition, our control of our thoughts, feelings, and our will to action, and how connected are we to the larger spiritual context in which the entire planet is alive. To be able to hold that and answer those questions means to say that pandemic after pandemic will enable us to awaken the truly and fully human in us so that we can create a better future for humanity that it truly deserves. Thank you for your time, and please do not hesitate to ask if you have more questions. This is Nicanor Perlas from the Philippines. Thank you.